All right. So I want to focus on the Minister of Higher Education because I had raised it already. I had said yesterday that there's something about the panel. It isn't that the names on the panel are mostly people from the department. It is the inclusion of Advocate Terry Motau that I found interesting. I found Advocate Terry Motau's inclusion involvement in this very interesting. And the reason why I found it interesting is because I had spoken to him and I said, "Can I talk to you because you are said to be part of a advisory panel that helped to pick the SETA boards? Do you remember the issue with the SETA boards was people like Minister Gwede Mantasha's son was involved. You had former KZN Premier involved. You had people like Loyiso Masukus and MMC Joburg. In some of these boards, there were very popular NC linked names that were part of those SETA boards. So that process was started over again, and now you hear about this advisory panel that she first didn't want to give Parliament. There was a long back and forth about the advisory panel. Once they got over that, she eventually, she also missed the deadline. Oh, also, she missed the deadline. Then she gets over that and then she makes a submission. People see the list, and we had, if you remember, Karaba Kakao, the spokesperson yesterday, complaining about how this list is problematic because you've got there people who are in the department. And that was the core of her problems. And I said, that's not my issue per se. I've got an issue with it, sure. But I have an issue with the name of Advocate Terry Motau's inclusion. I didn't fully understand it. So I thought, let's try reach out to him. And I did say to you yesterday that I wanted the advocate, but wanted to wait on the committee before speaking to me. So today I went back to him and he said, actually, he can speak to us. He has written a letter. I saw also a letter that he had written to the minister about his appointment. Because from my understanding, Mutau learnt of his involvement via the media, that he was supposedly chairing this panel that didn't go properly. He joins me now on the line. Advocate Terry Mutau, good morning. Welcome to 702. Thank you for joining us. Just to try and very quickly understand. So we hear there's an independent panel. We hear you're a part of it, but you don't attend meetings. That's what we're left with as members of the public. What actually happened? Because I've seen your letter, and your letter pretty much suggests nothing came of it. There was an initial talk, but nothing happened really.
Um, Let me start by saying I the letter was given to the minister for her to disclose it to the parliamentary portfolio committee, and I was made aware this morning that the letter is already circulating, and spoke to the portfolio committee about the issue to say this is already in the public domain, and can I then deal with it? And the permission was granted for me to deal with the issue. So, in accordance with that, then I think let me start by saying the following. One, from the letter, you will see that the high watermark of this is that the minister had an intention to appoint me to chair this committee, the nominations committee. However, that was not finalized because I was not briefed by an attorney to undertake the task. And importantly, you will see from the sequence of events that my letter precedes the minister's statement. So, in other words, when the minister wrote to the portfolio committee and said that I was the chairperson, she knew the true facts that I actually wasn't. So, and she also gave me a call before she issued that statement, in which I clarified to her. She said to me, people from her office tried to get hold of me. I said, no, nobody did. Nobody tried to call me. You can convene a meeting, Minister, and we can clarify that. Nobody contacted me. But in any event, for me to be formally engaged, an attorney must confirm my appointment, because as advocates, whether you're doing a matter pro amico, pro bono, or a paying brief, you can't be engaged without an attorney formally briefing you. And these are the facts that, as you would see from the letter, they are there. And I made it clear to the minister when she called me. But that despite, she still issued the statement in the terms that she did, which she ought to have known that I was not a part of the committee. And if you're not a part of the committee, it means you, as the supposed chair, who would not have convened the meetings, one. But secondly, nobody would have contacted you in arranging those meetings because you have not been formally appointed.
And for clarity, go on.
So I found out, like everyone else, about the outcome of the process, who were the nominees, etc. I didn't have any dealings with this process. Didn't see the documents. Didn't deal with the process. I don't even know who was appointed as part of the panel until I saw the names. Then it became clear to me that it means the department decided to do it internally and not to go ahead with the panel as perhaps the minister
independent as should positioned it.
Yeah.
But just for clarity's sake,
yes,
in the back and forth, you and her spoke, and you said, "But minister, I'm not involved," and she still went ahead and put your name on a list that she submitted to Parliament, to the portfolio committee.
Yes, because that's what I clarified to her. I said, Minister, you will see, because you already have this letter, I'm not going to ask you how you got it, but in the letter, I state that the upshot of this, and that's in paragraph 6, you will see there that based on all these facts, you would know that the upshot of all of this is that you intended to appoint me to chair the committee, which intention never materialized. Now, if she has this on the 16th, before she issues a statement, and she has a discussion with me on the 17th, before releasing the statement, I don't know how you then go ahead and say, I chaired this but never attended the meetings. Because
what remedies do you have? I mean, what recourse do you take on? Yes, you can go to the committee, but there's something my colleague Bongani Pingo just asked me now. You are seen as somebody who's credible. You are seen as somebody whose reputation is respected. You get mad in something like this, Advocate Motau, to a point where the DA says, yeah, he's also conflicted. Terry Motau is in business with the City of Johannesburg's Shared Services Department, and Loyiso Masuku, the MMC, has been appointed to boards. Already, that taints your name, those kind of connections and those kind of allegations. Loyiso Masuku was giving me a response yesterday, but the allegations are out there. What do you then do? Because you've spoken to the minister, she went ahead. As it stands, if you and I had not spoken, I would view you in a particular light.
No, I understand. Look, fortunately, we have these platforms to state the facts. I don't intend to do anything other than to state what the true facts are. And maybe while I'm at it, let me deal with this thing that you've raised. I'm not even sure that people know that all I do is I'm an advocate. I'm not a business person. I have no business. I don't run tenders. I don't even tender for state attorney work. I don't do quotations for briefs. I don't do profiles. I'm not that kind of a practitioner. So I can categorically tell you I have no business with Masuku or whoever. The thing I'm doing now for the city of Joburg is I have been appointed to facilitate a solution between SAMU, the South African Municipal Workers Union, and the CA in terms of an agreement that they concluded for the regrading of the municipality from grade 8 to grade 10. All I'm doing, I'm facilitating that to see whether an agreement can be reached and avoid a strike similar to the one that occurred in Joburg some time ago, that 5-month strike. That's all I'm doing, and even there, I'm briefed by an attorney. There's no tender or anything. I bill for time. I haven't even billed yet, but I'll bill as a normal brief. That
Sure. Okay, I'm gonna let you go.
so yeah
Thank
yeah.
you.
No, so that too is not accurate. But I mean, if the DA has got the queries or whatever, they can contact me. Maybe clarified.
All right.
But I suppose it's a product of things like these that's flying around, because then people think you are susceptible to this way of doing life, and that's
Become
not me.
All right. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Advocate. That's Advocate Terry Motau clarifying there what happened. He's been listed as the chair of that advisory board by Minister Nobuhle Nkabani. He says none of that happened. I've got the letter that he's speaking about that he said it was leaked. I leaked it last night. And the letter, from what I could see, he makes it very clear that he did not assist her or her office in reviewing and assessing the nominations received for the appointments of accounting authorities per sector education and training authorities, that's SETA. He did not participate in the process. He neither received nor saw any information relating to the process. He goes on to say, I did not convene with any panel or panel members. And as you heard him there, he had spoken to the minister before she made those names public. So she still went ahead pursuing something that he says, but minister, I wasn't involved. I didn't help you. And she still put his name in this. And then he also clarified some of those claims that the DA also made